Hello everyone and welcome to this new theme park Tycoon 2 video. And in today's, actually not in today, but today I will be actually making or actually finishing the trench in like where the coaster launches and stuff, because that's been on my to-do list for a while now. And I'm also sorry for like not actually being able to upload all the time, because I still have a life outside of YouTube, believe it or not. But yeah, actually right now, just having a little bit of free time actually before I going back to study on my courses I didn't pass on the first time. So yeah, making at this point I'm just making a little bit of content to push out in that period, because I don't always have free time. So yeah, so as you can see right now, I'm just actually doing some little bit of technical work with like the catwalk and stuff, adding the little railing, because it's also necessary to evacuate people when the launch fails and they can't restart it for some reason. So when they get people out of the car, people can hold the railing and actually be safe at that point. Also making a stair, because you can't just get off of that height. Jumping off would give pain in your legs and you don't want it. So yeah, making a little stair to actually help you out, and just copying it over to the other side. So yeah, this episode was recorded like the day after stream 17, I think. In that stream I actually had like a little bit of a disappointment after I ended the stream, because the stream was actually meant to go to get 300 subscribers. At the point of starting the stream I had 291, and then all of a sudden I refreshed and I had like 300, and it turns out those were all the counts. And I just kept on streaming because I was thinking, yeah, okay, maybe other people will subscribe and stuff. And when I finished the stream, I was at 324 subscribers. Now here comes a little bit of a funny bit, also a little bit of the bit that makes me a little bit angry, and that is apparently all those 24, or actually more 34 subs I gained were actually all the count. And after the stream ended, I saw the subscriber counter go down one by one, which made me a little bit angry, because actually letting people believe they had 300 subscribers, and then or actually a certain amount of subscriber goal, and then turning out that most of them are actually all the count, doesn't make it actually worth it to go back to streaming. And it's a little bit of demotivating for me, because it just doesn't make it. It's just making me a little bit mad. I'm not that mad about it. It's just, but I think at this point it's just the whole community, because people having different accounts, because if they get banned at one, they can just go back with another account commenting some stuff in different people's stream. But yeah, as you can see right now, I'm going back to the theme park for a little bit, is making a little bit of a rock wall kind of thing with like these Icelandic stones. I don't know how they actually got square. This nature's bit, I think, but yes, in real life you can find these shapes of stones, and I actually think it's kind of nice, this shape. But yeah, I was just thinking how to decorate this launch range, and I was thinking. I even asked AI, and I just still couldn't get it. And at this point, I just decided to make it like a little bit of a trench in the sea, or actually a trench where you dive in with your submarine, it's because that's what the ride vehicle is actually meant to represent, a submarine. And so what I'm actually going to do with the first launch is having a little bit of a dock house, where you have like a boat, and then you launch out, you go on the pier, because I don't mean to make it like all the way out there. So just the first turn before you go into the second launch is like meant to be over a little pier, and then you actually just dive in the water, as it meant in exploring the underwater world. And this is actually the first part of the ride, and then you launch back out, and then you just explore the little fisher village in like a little bit of faster way. Not a huge story behind it, and it's just also what I'm not trying to do. I'm just making a coaster with like a whole lore story behind it, even though it would actually look a little bit cool to do that. But yeah, and came up with like a little trench with those rocks, because it's meant to be like a fisher village, actually located in Norway, because at Seaside Park I am trying to get some different kind of like sea cultures, or actually kind of different kind of like places that are located on the sea. I'm not going for those city places because I don't like big cities that are located at the beach. It just makes it a little bit not nice, if I must say, because if we talk about beach here where I live, the whole 66 kilometers of coastline I think we have in Belgium is all completely built around it with flats and apartments, and I just don't like it. If I just think about sea, I see dunes and then beach. Doesn't matter if it's a stone beach or a sand beach, it just needs to be beach. So you won't see me at those places except for when there is a theme park or amusement park, because you can always find me in one of those when I have some free time and money as well. So yeah, but yeah, I just don't like it. So was more like thinking of just a natural kind of like thing, and actually I came up with like the idea of Northern Fishing Village by Mechalodon, as you may know, and that's just also like a little part where I start to get my whole park ID from like that kind of or actually just that kind of theme. And at this point I don't have that much ideas about that, but I am thinking of adding a B&M dive coaster like Emperor. Emperor is themed to like the penguin, or however you pronounce it. And even though I'm not actually a SeaWorld recreation, I'm just trying to be my own like beach themed theme park, kind of like I'm just trying to get those different kind of bits, and maybe I'll go for like an Hawaiian style somewhere, but I just don't know where yet. So I will see when I get there. And at this point I don't even know if I'm getting there, because I'm still worried about the file size. And what I mean with that is I am already at 0.8 MB, and I don't know how it's going to end because I still need to make a whole fishing village. And I'm already trying to be as minimalistic as possible while also getting the realism, just to be able to build as much as I can, and just trying to be a realistic theme park located somewhere in Europe, because I know the Americans only really have theme parks. They only have the Busch Gardens Park, or actually I think it's Busch Entertainment Park, the Universal Parks, and the Disney parks. For the rest there isn't much, except for Six Flags Fiesta Texas, I think it is, the park with Dr. Diabolical Dive Coaster that's located in a cliff. Amazing park, that's actually some good quality, but yeah, just but what I'm doing right now, it also feels like a little bit of a mix of the two, with like trying to be as minimalistic with theming as possible, but also making it really detailed in like some way. So yeah, I just but I like the style I'm going for, and I am not going to actually get off the path of that. So yeah, plans for the future, maybe at a Polynesian themed area, because I actually really like that a little bit. It's like little bit of tropical. Also, it's just me getting to know also like the different kind of coastal lines and coast villages with lots of nature as well, because nature isn't easy to add. If you for example just try to be Singapore, for example, it's located at the sea, you would have to do a lot of buildings, also integrating a lot of windows and all that kind of stuff, and in the end it would be a really big area, not being able to do much with it because of the file size, and then it would just look ugly as well. So what I think, if you make a themed area, if you integrate it with like nature and stuff, it just looks amazing. So I also saw what Kylo did with like his tap and build battle. He made a futuristic build but also integrated it with nature, and it just looks so much better. So yeah, I'm just going for those beach areas where there are like very known architectural builds, but also with a lot of nature, because it's first of all easy to add, doesn't take in that much of file size, and it just looks good in general. So that's just the little thing I'm just going for, and I just went off the path a little bit, but as you can see right now, the cliff is actually the launch trench, as I would say, is basically done. And at that point I just took a little break to see, I had like this wide plaza what I didn't know what to do with, and that's the point where I actually made the post to see what can I make with that. And yeah, I also just joined a few people asking what they would think is better, and out of the results there was a water play house, or actually just a splash pad, as you would say it in English. I know these from the Plopsa parks here in Belgium because I grew up with them. Every Plopsa park has one here in Belgium. Thinking of Plopsaland Japan, Plopsa Indoor Hasselt, and Plopsaland Ardennes. Plopsaland Japan is actually now called Plopsaland Belgium, so yeah. I knew these and I just knew where I would get the reference images, but then just having a plain splash pad also didn't look good. Also, what I did here right now, just having the fountains in like a square grid system, also really didn't look well. So in the end I just decided to delete all the water emitters, or actually delete almost all of them, because I needed to get the right height. And I made it in like a kind of like corridor like placement. You will see eventually. And yeah, these splash pads are actually really fun because really nice when the weather is hot, and I also don't see a lot of them in theme parks in general if people make them. It's just an attraction that gets kind of overlooked, but can be really entertainment for the kids. So yeah, as you can see at this point in the video, there is a little cut, and that is because of the sequencing of these water emitters. I went for like a little basic look, actually just little basic sequence with like slowly getting all the emitters on, then off, and then going in pairs of like going on and off. And yeah, and it just turned out well. And then I got this idea from a comment, just adding octopus tentacles and also doing different things with that, but when I added too much it just didn't look good, and I just ended up with like 4 tentacle arms. You will see my also my version of like with all the tentacle arms as well. I just didn't like it, and in the end I just decided to go on with these little arches. 4 of them in total. I also didn't know if I should add the octopus head, and I think it's better not to and just have this as a little bit of a decoration. I was also thinking of like having water flow from the arches as well, but I don't know if I should add or not. I can still add it. And yeah, with all of that, I actually finished like what I wanted to finish in this build, and I'm just going to see what I can talk about in like the next 1.5 minutes, I think it is. So but yeah, in the end I just think the octopus ID turned out well. It just adds a little bit of a child area into what is like a little bit of family thrill. So if the child is a little bit too small to ride and you have other people going for the coaster, they can just play in the splash pad, or they can ride the Zamperla Rockin'Tug I made in like a different video, and I have placed currently at that position. I don't know if that's the best position to have placed it in, but I think I can make something out of it at this point in the area. And with all of that said, I think that's everything I actually need to say. So except for like this little octopus failure, I'm just going to leave you a little bit with maybe a little bit of music, and I'll see you guys in the real-time part. And welcome back to the real-time part of this video. I'm just going to give you a little recap of what I have done in this episode. And I already put the footage in my edit program and sped it up. So I know this is a little bit of a shorter episode, but that's alright, because maybe we need some episode where we need to get stuff done. And for this episode, an example, it was the launch trench, yeah, with the evacuation path going around, the catwalks finally having their detail, and then of course the little fence here, also a little bit of theming. I might add a sail to this. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet, and yeah, and then of course the big novelty of like this episode is the little splash pad. This ID came from one of my viewers, and the viewer goes by every DG1. He said, neither. I asked like people what I needed to build here, and he said, neither. I think a splash pad would look amazing and fit perfectly with the theme park ride. There, you could make it look like a coral reef or something along those lines. And yeah, suddenly I came with the idea of an octopus. Small editor note here, I didn't come up with the idea of the octopus. A user by JamesWhite4987 came up with the idea of the octopus actually. He said a playground with like octopus tentacles coming out of the ground and coral littering the floor. On the post I made about what I should place in the circle, and yeah, I mixed those two up I think, because I thought it wasn't that common. But anyways, if you have any ideas on what else I can add in this park, let me know, because I'm always open for some ideas, and I just can't keep coming up with these ideas. Then eventually I will run out of ideas, and that's why I have you viewers, so you can also have a little bit of input on what could be in this park or not. So if you have any ideas, just let me know, and let's get back to the commentary. I thought that this fence looked a bit, yeah, it's a little bit of an ugly side, and I was thinking to maybe just make a planter and plant it around. I am also going to make like a little shop, I still don't know where, for Kylo's Coffee, because it's going to be a Zombie's famous fish and chips. Might remake the logo zombie, sorry in advance also. So yeah, because in the previous episode we decorated it. I still need to do like the kitchen and all, where they make it and then just put it in here. And yeah, and just for a note for myself, actually, making planters and actually fixing that area up, and you might see it in the next episode what I have done, because then I have finished up the area. Also this area I noticed, I might just actually make a fence here that leads to backstage, because the parking is there, so backstage would fit perfectly here, because there's literally nothing I can do with this land and this land. This land was definitely going to be backstage for the coaster, so yeah, I might actually make the shop here and then let you exit somewhere around here, because the entrance I want to be there, having the queue line a little bit long here, and then station exit with the little souvenir shop actually. Maybe in a boat, I don't know. But yeah, then this will be the exit, and then I have actually a little bit less space to work with, but for backstage I think it's going to be a lot of backstage, so I'm just going to put a fence here for now and see what I'm going to do with it in the future, because for me right now, for importance, also with like the file size, because we are getting close to that first MB is actually finishing off this coaster, and then the rest of the park with like also the lake. And I am starting to get some new ideas with like the new update that has dropped, so really helpful for that. And I think that's also everything I have to say for this video. Anyways, if you like this kind of content, you could always subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video or the next episode. Later.